Houston Newsmakers is this Sunday morning at 10 o'clock.
And again, it wouldn't be a Friday without our buddy Cambrell Marshall.
So you guys going to be there Sunday morning at 10? Well,
Shall.
Aren't we always?
From a distance, you know.
From a distance.
Framing me with your feet as you're laying back watching TV.
What life is that?
Right.
What are you talking about?
With your kids and your
Chasing
dogs.
kids and dogs all over the house.
Hey, got some interesting stuff this week, next week actually as well. But the Minority Supplier Development Council, they have this big expo every year, and they're going to have it again this year. Difference is this year, instead of having it at the George R. Bauman, they've had it for many, many years, they're actually having it at a Woodside Energy company. So they're having it at a company. It's 2 days. It's September 28th and 29th. And one of the days is hybrid. So they're doing that different. They're doing a lot of things differently this year. So the first day in person, the second day is a hybrid day. And one thing about that, a lot of people don't know, small businesses and minority businesses really are the engine of a lot of what's going on in our society here. $14 billion in economic activity was recorded in 2020. So last year that they had those numbers. And so that's a lot of money obviously being pumped into the into the society. Also, minority business enterprise companies have generated 70,000 jobs. So it's really important for a lot of people who might be interested in if they have a business or they're interested in starting a business, this is a great expo for them to be a part of.
Very nice.
Also, one of the guests is a woman by the name of Liza Lawrence. She started an organization called The Perfect Connection. Now, Liza is a mother of 2 autistic boys. And so as a result of what she's been able to find in her experience, and by the way, she's been a healthcare professional for many years, but now she said, you know what, there needs to be more. So about 3 years ago, she started this organization called The Perfect Connection. The goal is to provide more research and more financial support for families dealing with autism. She also gave me some interesting statistics. 40% of autistic children have some other kind of, 40% of autistic children don't speak. Wow. Which means they have to have another way of communicating.
Right. Yeah.
78% have other kind of mental health issues. And adults, 75% of adults are not employed. Adults. So there's all those kind of issues. So she started Blue Angels Academy to have extra schooling for these kids as well. They're having the Evolution of Autism Gala set for September 23rd. We're going to talk about that. Also, Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure is back October 1st, the first Saturday. The first Saturday in October is always set aside for Susan G. Komen. This year, no different. I've got Kristen Barley, who's the State Executive Director of Gulf Coast, is going to be here. She is a woman who is a 13-year survivor, got cancer, breast cancer, when she was 34 years old.
Oh, my.
Another woman on is Corey Lee, who also got breast cancer when she was 34. She's recently come through a lot of therapies and things like that, celebrating being a survivor. Yes. That's what the Komen Race is all about. We're going to talk about that, how you can get involved. Even if you don't go to the race, you can get involved and support them. So that's the program this week.
So many important stories there.
I think so.
Promoting awareness.
Yeah, if you can't make it live, you do have a DVR. There's many other options to tune in.
And on Plus, after the show runs at 10:30, you can actually see it again. Double Cambrell.
Yeah. He's the only one in the building who gets the replay, right?
That's right. He's the only one who deserves it.
That's right.
It's our buddy.
Thank you.
We love you, man.